Let's go, Chiefs Kingdom. You found a way to get it done. Are you kidding me? Patrick Mahomes, we start off with one of the more disastrous throws of his career. It's a really good play by the former first rounder there, number 97, Mr. Latu Latu. And this is something you never want to see your franchise quarterback having to lead with this throwing shoulder to make the touchdown saver. So this is more of a fantasy football thing than it is a real life thing. But the truth is, rookies normally break out towards the end of the year, and you could really use Brashard Smith to do that very thing. We've seen some other later round running backs like a Kyle Monangai of the Bears step into huge roles, and if Brashard Smith could do that, it could be massive. So here we go. This is one of the more bizarre looking plays, but I'll explain a few things about it. So at the snap, you do see Sauce Gardner get up right here on Rashee Rice, and that makes it harder for this rub to Rice to work. Okay, so Patrick decides to eat it, and then you have Worthy running a vertical here, and it opens up Travis Kelce. Okay, so if you just throw it to him right now, obviously you're having a process going all the way from over there to here. This is probably a touchdown. Okay, so now Mahomes is stepping up into the pocket, and Kelce is actually running into where the defense is, and then he elects to cut back this way, okay? Maybe this could be a little bit more efficient. Obviously, you want to stay moving if you're Kelce to stay open, but you would have liked to have seen that turn into a touchdown, if not get even closer to the goal line. And that's been kind of an issue, right? The Mahomes-Kelce connection. That just feels dirty even saying that, right? Obviously, the biggest play was that Eagles mishap on the goal line earlier this year. But on 3rd and Overland Park, you're just in trouble, and Mahomes just tosses this into Q39. By the way, is that the best KC barbecue joint? I don't know. So a rough game for Noah Gray. He had the big injury, and then he had a drop mixed in there as well. But as the number 2 tight end of the Chiefs, you play a big role in this offense, okay? So it's a good job by Mahomes seeing that he has leverage on this defender, and you throw it to him right in his chest. And, man, this offense, for the most part, yeah, it was a brutal first half, but they're able to get a big one here. Alrighty, so this time the Colts get exotic here on the back end. They deoccupy the middle of the field. You're having a wraparound blitz, and that's why Kareem Hunt is the best center in the NFL. And Kelce's able to find open space over the middle, and there you go. Okay, now once again, we bring this up from time to time. You know, vintage Kelce is making this guy miss, okay? But that's not where we are right now. So this is a lot of yards being left on the field. Okay, it's nitpicky, I understand, but obviously number 65, Trey Smith, is a good right guard, but he gives up a lot of A-gap pressure right here. Should Mahomes have just thrown this and lived with the results here? No, okay, because if this gets completed and Kelce is stopped short of the line to gain, that's the half. This is a critical 3 points if you can't score. So that was a really good decision. I think a lot of QBs are throwing that to Kelce. So Mahomes is like, I'm going to get this football into the end zone. And you can see this almost works itself out. Instead, he is out of bounds. This will be a positive and a negative for old Patrick Mahomes in this Kansas City Chiefs offense. The first thing is, from a Colts perspective, if you're watching this, you just can't play so freaking soft versus this guy with only an 11-point lead. I can understand if it's 30-9, and even then, that is debatable, okay? So Mahomes has a very clean pocket, and obviously this is a really good throw right here to Xavier Worthy. Now, this is a negative, all right? You need more from Xavier Worthy right here, all right? You catch the football, you have got plenty of real estate to not just run this directly out of bounds. Look at all of this room right here. Bottom line, though, is there was much discussion before the season. Is this Xavier Worthy or Rashee Rice's team when it comes to being a pass catcher? And this game right here slams the door on that debate, all right, if there was even an opening. All right, another thing is these offensive tackles were ridiculous. against a good group of Colts pass rushers. They're not elite, but they're good. And then Rice just gets open here on this deep over. It's really, really good stuff. And unlike Worthy, Rice is willing to really bang it up in there and gain a huge chunk of yards. All right, so Travis Kelce had a nice reception before this, and I skipped a Kareem Hunt fumble after that long Rice completion. You saw the play before. This is where Patrick Mahomes is just absolutely ridiculous. There is not a blade of grass safe on the field when 15 has a football in his hands. He's not the fastest guy, but man, he really understands how to use every last inch of the field to turn this bad boy on up and actually make this run into a very, very, very big run right here for a first down. All right, so there was a Clyde Edwards-Helaire catch that also had a penalty attached to it, and then you get to here, and man, you're just very lucky to have Creed Humphrey just organizing everything over the middle, and you have that ridiculous run right there by Kareem to make this a one-possession game. Third and Harrisonville, and you see Kansas City here in a peculiar situation. You see what I did there? I want to feel like I'm part of the local Arrowhead community, okay? You see Rashee Rice just make this play. Of course, a lot of this is Mahomes. A lot of this is decent pass protection that does eventually break down. The first thing before I actually show you the throw is that, as you can see, 66 is starting to get beat. It's a nasty swim move. That's one of the more difficult moves to guard. In any pass rush situation, the outside shoulder of the guard getting swam. And Mahomes feels no panic. All right, he just stays in the pocket that he does have and just all cleats in the ground, just ripping this bad boy to Rashee Rice. Boom. Okay, it's not only that he stayed calm, he delivered this football right on the number, and we all know Rashee Rice knows how to speed. Kidding. All right, I had to get one in. So he makes that player miss, and now Rashee Rice is really, really, really moving. Okay, good job right there by Pratt to stay with them, and there you go. Okay, 3rd and 8, and this is just a ridiculous piece of quarterbacking from Patrick Mahomes. So the first thing that happens here is Creed Humphrey gets played with. All right, so they end up running a little game here over the middle where you're coming through here and then you're looping around. All right, so Humphrey is locked in on 44, but he's late seeing that loop, and he knows he has to get to this DT now, and watch what happens. He's got to let him go, okay? Especially with Mahomes. You don't want any holding penalties here and knocking yourself really, really, really out of field goal range. And now 44 is wrapping around, and the right guard is late to pick it up. All right, so there is really immense A-gap pressure, which is the worst type of pressure. Even the great Patrick Mahomes can't get away with it. So now he's got to really just give ground and just live with the results of just throwing this up to Noah Gray. You just got to give him a chance, all right? One final thing about this, he waits till the very last second and really gets some height on this football and takes a big hit. And Noah Gray makes a ridiculous catch. That is just freaking donkulous. Caught it between his legs. I understand the little pause button got in the way. Look at that. Look at that, ladies and Gentiles. Look at that. Alrighty, so 4th and 3, and before I break down this unbelievably fascinating play, I want to tell you a quick little story. You know, I just started this channel on a whim. I was a college guy, and I love the NFL as well. And my first videos were the Chiefs 49ers Super Bowl. And as crazy as so many of those plays were to break down in that game, I truly do believe this one is even more fascinating because this features a pretty big mistake here by Patrick Mahomes. The Chiefs run this play a lot, and they actually used to do this with Samaje Perine. And the design of this is to actually go to the running back. So it looks as if the running back is actually staying in to pass protect, and the goal of this is to be a really good man coverage beater. So you have an in-breaker here, an in-breaker here, and the running back is actually running through the line of scrimmage here and running directly into the flats, and boom, it's there for the conversion. I can't see where this safety is. All right, so I'm guessing he's center field right here, and boom. Okay, I Don't know why Patrick Mahomes elected to not throw this, all right? So, all that aside, he ends up making something happen that is truly extraordinary here because the Colts elect to bring a heavy pressure yet again. Now, what I don't like about this from a Colts perspective, and obviously Lou Amaruno, I butcher his name all the time, is the Chiefs' massive kryptonite, right? He is a guy that, of course, has stifled Mahomes more than anyone else. I don't know why your quarterback spy would be just a traditional pass rusher here, not a faster player, all right? So this just gets passed off and protected so well by the Chiefs. I understand there's a lot of pocket push, if you will, but it was a 5-on-5 protection, and that's good. That's really, really, really good right there, especially Simmons getting off and seeing that, all right? Now, we get to the actual route that Mahomes elects to throw. And what I think he decided to do here, and I haven't listened to the postgame press conference, is say, look, Rashee Rice has been my guy. If I know that it's man coverage and I have a shallow drag with Rashee Rice, he's eventually going to be open. Let me decide the game with him. All right, and I get that. So what happens here is the DB trips. He gets spooked because the player that was actually supposed to be guarding Kareem Hunt is late to get over here. So eventually, Rashee Rice is open. So this is one of those cases where Andy Reid's play calling mastery is what really opened this bad boy up. And there you go. You're able to convert one of the biggest fourth downs of the Chiefs era, as crazy as that sounds, at least in the regular season. So there you go. And Rice is able to cut back and do Rashee Rice. This is where Andy Reid really started picking on Lou, because if you're going to do a lot of these five-man fronts, that means more than likely you're going to be playing a lot of man coverage on the back end. And if they're going to do that, we just want to run mesh. We want to run shallow drags, right? And this is obviously the play where Xavier got hurt earlier in the year. It's a good job right there by Kelce, and obviously you get Juju right there. And now you're going up against Sauce Gardner. All right, 3rd and goal. You want to know why a team goes out there and pays Sauce Gardner? It's because of games like this, right? Where to the single receiver side, I could just put him on him and dedicate all the other bodies over here. And that's exactly what happens. I mean, this is as man coverage will ever be. So Mahomes is like, look, I'm just going to work this side. And this is what the Chiefs do better than anyone. They just run a lot of angle and pivot routes to the inside, and there really is just nothing cooking here really at all. And unless Kelce was open right here on a top shelfer, I don't know. So he extends, and eventually he just eats a sack, and you kick a field goal to go in the overtime. 3rd and 7. Really, really, really good play again by Patrick Mahomes. And once again, it wasn't a perfect game, but the Chiefs' offensive line did enough, right? Mahomes is going to make these types of plays. You just got to give him a little bit of time. And, well, with Xavier and his speed, he does eventually get open for a huge one. And this is literally the dagger. Get it? Because this is a dagger-ish concept, okay? So it's a vertical being run here and a deep dig being run behind it. And Rashee Rice, man, I know it's crazy because of the suspension, but he's a Pro Bowler. I mean, there's just not many AFC wide receivers you're taking over him right now. And boom, look at all of that, okay? And that's basically the game. So we get vintage Patrick Mahomes, which is always fun to watch. And, man, God bless you. When you're playing the Chiefs, you've really, really, really got to put them away offensively, because Patrick is eventually going to get you. So comment below your thoughts, and we will talk to you soon. I believe the Chiefs will make the playoffs because of this game, and we'll talk to you soon, okay? I said that twice. It is Power Hour NFL. Boom! Tonight, we're doing some Trader Joe's lasagna, baby. Let's go.